Young Thug was seen getting emotional inside of the courtroom, as it's clear the YSL trial is corrupt, as it would be announced. Judge has ruled on attorneys Max's motion for the fair trial. She's now sending the entire prosecution team to Brady training, leading into a lawyer saying, "This is another embarrassment for the YSL trial prosecutors today."
But make sure before it shows up on a screen with a jury that whatever limits have been placed on this, you abide by them. I mean, I saw the slide from the opening that had something on it that had been specifically talked about and ruled that you had better not in any way put that before the jury. And lo and behold, it's up there on the screen. Not going to get back into it, but that should not happen again. If you know that comments aren't supposed to be on here, you need to make sure before you throw any slide up. And I'm not saying that this was how you were going to use it. I know you're just giving this to us right now, but just make sure everything is clean to the way that it is supposed to be. Okay.
As in simple terms, the prosecutors are now ordered to complete a small class course to remind them how to do their literal job. This isn't a joke. The judge is literally sending the prosecutors to a classroom to remind them by a teacher what they are and are not allowed to do with evidence inside of a court trial. This is where it feels so corrupt. These prosecutors have literally no idea what they're doing. However, the judge refuses to allow a mistrial, so Thug will in the end face some sort of prison sentence. These two rappers have much different charges, but it does feel awfully similar to what Boosie said about YNW Melly, that when the feds want you, they'll do anything to get you, even if it doesn't feel like the logical thing.
Now they're putting even more charges on them, and then
when they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted them bad when they waited for that law to get passed. They waited all the way.
Penalty.
So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a mistrial.
Yeah.
That made me like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, after a mistrial, that doesn't happen, really.
However, it gets very crazy from here, as it would be announced on late Friday, attorney Max told Judge Page that he filed another new motion for a fair trial. This motion comes after the attorneys found out about another ex parte meeting on June 7th.
So I recently filed while we were in court, a motion for a fair trial seeking remedies. Oh, and I will email, it was just filed. And I will email it over.
As Max is a part of Young Thug's legal team, and his second motion for a fair trial would be declined once again. He's bringing up an issue that the prosecutors had an illegal meeting to gain evidence on Young Thug with outside sources. His motion was denied right after court. This made Max and his partners come to the following day inside of court screaming at the judge.
Well, you know, the problem, Your Honor, is that since this was an ex parte meeting that should probably have never taken place, you were not there, I was not there, my fellow outside agitators weren't there, we don't have a video of it, so I have no idea specifically if that was not referred to us. We don't know, do we? We don't know. And what I do know is that I have been arguing with people for 18 months that Chief Judge Glanville was doing his best, that he was trying to rule to the best of his ability based on the evidence and the law before him, and now I have been made to look like an idiot. So I do not believe that this trial should continue, Your Honor.
This in the end would go viral on social media. Lil Baby would even react. It's about time, Thug is coming home. Slime's been in the cell too long, the trial is gonna be over. This judge is crazy. With even 4-2 Doug saying,
have you been tapped into the YSL case at all, and how do you think that's been I've been trying to watch a little bit.
Do you think it's being mishandled?
I think it should have been dismissed. The shit with the judge that just happened was
that just happened.
Crazy, like trying to send his lawyer to jail. From the outside looking in, it's looking like they got something against him.
As lawyers online have commented, believing that there is no way the judge will allow the trial to continue on with how the prosecutors have been. This is a mockery of the entire United States court system. These same lawyers would even then go on to give a Young Thug release date. So to understand when, you first need to understand how the mess started. It was announced Judge Glanville had been recused from the YSL RICO trial after Young Thug and his co-defendants petitioned to have him removed, as the original judge is officially gone from the YSL RICO case. This would then lead into announcement the following day, Judge Ingram has been assigned as the new judge in Young Thug's YSL RICO trial, as lawyers would go on to react, sharing what this truly means.
I smell RICO charges. Judge Glanville has been recused from the YSL trial. This is the order from Judge Rachel Krause granting the motion to recuse Judge Glanville from the case. Now, will this case continue with a new judge taking over midway? I don't think so. I think you have to start from scratch, which means new jury. That new judge is going to have to come up to speed with all of the evidentiary rulings that have happened in this case, and then you start all over again. When is this trial supposed to finish? 2030? It's a damn shame, because this guy probably had a great long career. He was the chief judge in Fulton County. He's a military veteran. He's probably a very accomplished individual, but his legacy will be nothing more than he was extremely biased. He had it out for the defendants.
As typically when a court case has to remove their original judge for a replacement, it ends in a mistrial allegedly 68% of the time. This is why the famous rap lawyer believes the RICO charges against the 20 YSL members is going to be non-existent. Judge Glanville was one of the best judges in the entire United States, and he even folded in the YSL trial. Lawyers believe no judge is going to be up to the task for this case, as the famous rap lawyer would explain Young Thug's next move.
What's next in the YSL case? We have a new judge. Judge Ingram has been assigned the case. You're going to see a couple of motions filed by each of the defendants. First, they're going to file a motion for bond. Second, they're going to file a motion for a mistrial. The bond argument is easy. They're going to argue he's been locked up forever. Now he's going to be locked up for God knows how long is forever. Can we get him a bond? The argument for a mistrial is going to be very interesting. They're going to go to Judge Ingram. They're going to say, Judge Ingram, you're going to have to pick up this case midway. You're going to have to make all these rulings going forward. But before you can do that, you got to read about everything that's happened. You got to read about the court transcript, every line from the longest trial in Georgia history. This is already the longest trial ever. Then you're going to have to read about all the motions, evidentiary objections, pre-trial rulings, in-trial rulings. It's going to take you God knows how long before the trial is ready to resume. And will the jury be ready to resume? They've already been out for weeks.
As the second judge, Judge Ingram, only lasted 1 day in the YSL trial. It would be announced the new judge assigned to the YSL RICO trial recuses herself after only 2 days on the case. However, she was only in the courtroom for 1 of those days. This now made it to need a third judge. Meet Judge Paige, as on her first day of being the new YSL judge, Young Thug's legal team sent in 20 motions for a mistrial and bond. Due to this, lawyers predicted that Young Thug's lawyer is going to be yelling for a mistrial this week. Kodak Black's lawyer even said, the case and the judge is off the reservation. This is an instant mistrial. I can't believe the judge thinks taking a defense attorney into custody isn't a mistrial. As Judge Glanville was primarily removed from this YSL case because he had Young Thug's defense attorney Brian Steele arrested in the middle of the courtroom.
Take Mr. Steele into custody, please. Yes, sir, you certainly may. Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are removing me against his will, my will. You're taking away his right to counsel. And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So if For that reason, additionally, I asked for a mistrial. And
as reports would then starting to come out saying Young Thug's co-counsel Keith Adams just said that he has the same information as Brian Steele, and he has now filed a motion for a mistrial, leaving hip-hop reporters saying the Young Thug YSL trial is in shambles. Surely this is a mistrial within 24 hours. While rappers reacted even saying, give Thug a mistrial and free Slime. Now the mistrial will happen for one specific reason, and allow me to explain. It's all based around the prosecutors not doing their job correctly. It reads, the judge in Thug's trial was just arguing with the state because they were unprepared with evidence.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. The evidence is excluded. I'm going to exclude because I told you that this was going to happen. No. We're excluding that. This is the last. I am not going to tolerate this any further. If you don't get together with your colleagues and flag issues and resolve them promptly, and if I have to take them up, remember, I can exclude them, we'll work the weekends, or we'll do a combination of both. So this time, I'm going to exclude those two sections.
There's nothing.
I'm not going to have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not. I don't. Well, you know what?
And I attempted to try to talk to them earlier this week.
Well, then that's why we have to.
Punishes the state because the defense.
I'm not punishing anybody.
As this would lead into the prosecutors having a meltdown inside of court when it would be announced, an ex-investigator with the Atlanta Police Department took the stand under cross-examination on Monday. During one moment, former investigator Lakia got into a brief exchange with defense attorney Max.
And D'Angelo White's response was, we had, correct?
Yes, he did say that, and it was more to that as well.
We had guns and
yes, he stated that.
Okay. We, being plural, correct? Correct?
Are you insulting my intelligence by asking if we means plural? I think you are, though.
Okay.
I think you are.
All right, well,
sir, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, sir, let's be respectful to our witness,
I'm
okay?
being very respectful, Judge, and I always will.
I doubt it.
The YSL RICO trial has been going on for around 2 years now, and the prosecutors have shared literally no evidence against Thug. This is why they now just randomly started lying about evidence on Thug, leading into Thug's lawyers yelling at them, as Thug's legal team is consistently arguing that the Atlanta police are trying to lie about evidence. Thug's main lawyer would then call out the entire Atlanta Police Department, which goes and reads, Your Honor, as my eyes roll, I'm about to show you why I don't believe the city of Atlanta at all.
I have
no recording of whom.
Detective Lewis at the hospital, Grady Hospital, September 11, 2013, meets with Walter Murphy. And Your Honor, as my eyes roll out of my head, I'm about to show you why I do not believe the City of Atlanta Police Department at all. This is served in discovery. I will mark it Mr. Williams C and D. And then you tell me if I'm supposed to believe the allegations from the state of Georgia.
As this is where everything would go crazy inside of court, and allow me to explain. The judge would first call out Young Thug's attorney for stating that the Atlanta Police Department lies about evidence.
Well,
Not conceding that?
Well, I'm going to tell you that I haven't heard anything that would indicate that's truth.
Yeah, well,
you have a good faith basis to ask that.
You haven't heard anything of who he spoke with. That's my point.
That's the point.
But you all can't. But you two, neither one of you can proffer that.
Judge.
It's not proper, Mr. Steele.
No. Listen.
It's not. It would be a violation before me for you to put that in front of this jury.
In the September 17, 2000.
You are saying to the court that you have a belief that there is another statement out there. There's not.
How can you say that?
Because it hasn't been brought up. If it gets brought up, then we'll correct it at that point in time. But right now, I'm going to direct you not to inquire that line. You don't have a basis to do so.
As the judge is yelling at Young Thug's attorney, as what Brian Steele is doing here is jeopardizing his entire career, calling out an entire Atlanta police department. The evidence that they are discussing is based around Adrian Bean. The Atlanta police are trying to use evidence against Thug that Adrian told them in 2013. However, Adrian now says he doesn't remember giving it. The original report reads, unlike Trontavia Stevens, Adrian Bean is not bound by a plea deal. He was a part of a 2013 crime where 4 people were involved, but 1 escaped and was never caught. They need Adrian to snitch on Young Thug on the stand like he did with the police in 2013. As Adrian did originally snitch on Young Thug in 2013, as Young Thug was the individual that was involved in the crime but escaped and was never caught. Adrian told them that it was Young Thug in 2013, but because the police don't have any hard evidence to prove it, they need Adrian to say that it was Young Thug. However, now in 2024, Adrian has forgot about the crime.
After you answer the question, what you have to do.
Because I don't remember nothing that happened in 2013. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand. What I have to do is ask you some questions and determine what you do and don't remember. So, what is your response as to whether or not you recognize the images shown in Defendant's Exhibit number 8?
I don't remember.
All right. And I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit number 81. Do you recognize what's shown there?
No, ma'am.
All right. What about number 101 for Defendant Exhibits?
You see a car, but I don't remember it.
Okay, that's fine. Is your answer the same for Defendant's Exhibit number 82, number 89, and Defendant's Exhibit 90?
Yes, ma'am.
Lots can happen within 11 years. The crime did occur over 10 years ago. Sources claim YSL members could have paid Adrian off to not snitch, but others believe that he actually did forget about the crime, as he would go on to reveal why he forgot.
I really don't have any knowledge about 2013, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't really have any knowledge about 2013. Once I have went to prison and came home from prison and done my time, everything that happened in 2013 or whatever has been put behind me and set forth. So I've been, working and just doing my thing since I came home from prison. I don't have no knowledge of nothing that happened 10 years ago.
Without the evidence provided by Adrian Bean, the prosecutors have only shared 2 pieces of evidence against Young Thug. One being with YNW Melly, as the 2 rappers were involved in a Facebook post together, which could somehow connect their street teams together.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with Doug, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with the 5-point star as well. Mr. Devins has big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and these individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
As with the second piece of evidence revealing that Lil Wayne has the same street affiliation as Young Thug.
And are you familiar with who this individual is?
I am.
And who is that?
It's Dwayne Carter.
Okay. And does he have another name that he goes by?
He does.
And what is it?
Lil Wayne.
And are you aware, through any of your non-trained experience, if Mr. Carter, Dwayne Carter, self-identifies as a member of?
I believe that he does.
Okay. Tell the jury if you need to stand with the stick and point to what those identifiers are within Defense Exhibit 31.
There's a large MOB across his chest, often used particularly by West Coast, but is used across the country. He has 5 red 5-point stars across his chest.